Good morning, everybody in YouTube world and Facebook world and everywhere else. Today is September the 20th, 2020, and I just can't take it anymore. It's a Sunday morning, so I've been watching all the news channels, Meet the Press and everything else, and I just want to scream. I just want to scream louder, and then I want to scream louder at what I'm hearing. I'm hearing a lot of emotions. I hear a lot of junk, but I don't hear the truth. So I want to talk to you about the truth of the matter concerning the Republicans and the death of Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsberg. Yes, the lady that took in the year of our Lord off of all of the court documents. Yes, the lady that voted on abortion expansion. Yes, that lady right there. That's who we're talking about today. So, according to mainstream media, the Republicans are all a bunch of hypocrites because they dare to vote in another Supreme Court justice before the presidential election. Fact number one, since the year 1880, write that down in your little handy-dandy notebook. Since the year 1880, there has never been an appointment to the Supreme Court justice when you have an opposing party in the White House and the Senate. I'm going to make this so plain in 5 minutes that you're going to get it. It's just going to snap on. Here's my question for you. When President Barack Obama, wanted to put Merrick Garland on the bench in the last 9 months of his presidency, what type of Senate did he have to work with? Question mark. What type of Senate did Barack Obama have to work with? Was it a Republican-elected Senate, a Republican-controlled Senate with Mitch McConnell setting the agenda? Is that the Senate that the president had to work with? Absolutely. Now, here's the next question. Since 1880, has there ever been an appointment to the Supreme Court when you have that scenario, when you have the White House at odds with the Senate? Has it ever happened? No, it has not. And here's a news flash. It will never happen. Why? That's just the way it is, folks. That's politics in America. That's our political system. But if Barack Obama would have had Chuck Schumer as the Speaker of the Senate, and if he would have had a Democratic Senate in control, does anybody listening to me right now have the temerity to admit that you believe that Merrick Garland would not be sitting on the Supreme Court right now? Let me make that simpler. If Barack Obama had a Democratic Senate with Chuck Schumer in charge, is there any question in your mind that Merrick Garland would not be sitting on the Supreme Court? Question mark. I'm going to stop. I'm going to let you answer it. You have to answer it, because until you give an honest answer, we cannot continue with the honest truth. 1,000%. If Barack Obama would have had a Democratic-controlled Senate, believe what I'm telling you, not Chuck Schumer, but Merrick Garland would be sitting with a robe on today in the highest court of the land. Why? That's the way it works. Bingo. Bam. That's the end of the discussion. That's the way it works. So President Obama meets head on to an opposing party in the Senate. No, sir, ain't going to happen. Sorry. Why? Because the Speaker sets the timeline of the Senate. Yes, eventually they would have had to have voted because the Constitution demands them to. But there's no rules about a time schedule. They could have delayed, and they did. Why? That's the way the game is played. Now, today, President Trump, the stars have lined up. He has a much better situation than Obama had. He's got a Senate on his side in agreement with the White House. You don't have an opposing party here. So guess what is going to happen? You're going to have a new Supreme Court justice. You know why? Because a president is not elected for 3 years. He's elected till the last second of the 4th year. That's the Constitution, folks. The powers of the presidency are not abated 6 months before his term ends. It is abated at the moment his term is over. So one of the most powerful benefits of the presidency, and the reason that election have consequences, we voted in this president to replace an abortion-loving, homosexual marriage-loving, child-killing-loving Supreme Court justice. We voted to have her replaced with a God-fearing, Constitution-revering Supreme Court justice. That's the consequences of voting. We voted for that. And if this president does not fulfill our wishes that voted him in, he has failed his constituency. So one more time, everybody is saying, but Ruth Bader Ginsberg pleaded her last dying wish was for him not to replace her. I do not believe for 1 second she even said that, because she is a legal scholar and she knows better. She knows that we're a nation run by laws and not dying wishes. She knows that. I have strong suspect that she even made that statement. If she did, she was on medication. If she did, something was not right in her brain, because she knows better. That's not the way it works, Sister Ruth. It just ain't the way it works. So I really wish that everybody would quit screaming hypocrisy and realize the stars have lined up. It's nobody's fault. No need of being mad at the right. It is what it is.